Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod and this is Star Wars 7x7, your daily dose of Star Wars joy, and thank you so much for joining me for it. So this part of the story mode of Star Wars Squadrons is called Chaos at Mon Cala. The gist of the story is that the Starhawk that is being built by the New Republic is being guarded by a massive fleet at the Nadiri dockyards, and so Rae Sloane's plan is to lure as much of the fleet away from there as possible with simultaneous attacks on a number of New Republic targets. One of those is the one that you're going to be in, which is the Chaos at Mon Cala situation, where you're going to destroy some refueling pods and then some transports and then a bunch of other stuff, basically. Meanwhile, two other operations are happening, and you find this out from Rae Sloane herself, who shows up in one of the conversations. They are attacking Onderon and Gorse, and those are fun mentions because Onderon is Saw Gerrera's home planet, has shown up in storytelling for the Clone Wars and Rebels and whatnot, and Gorse is the name of the planet where a lot of the action took place around in A New Dawn, which was the novel by John Jackson Miller that first introduced the character of Rae Sloane, who was not an admiral at that time, and it also gave us our first introduction to Hera Syndulla and Kanan Jarrus, because that was a prequel novel to the Star Wars Rebels TV series. The Onderon and Gorse attacks are going to disrupt Rebel supply lines or New Republic supply lines, depending on whose perspective you're looking at this from. And the idea is that when these attacks happen, the New Republic will freak out and send a bunch of ships to help protect those planets and supply lines and reinforce them, and that's going to leave the Starhawk relatively unguarded at the Nadiri dockyards. You're also warned that there is a group called Anvil Squadron, which will act to protect the refueling pods and the transports. You're asked to blow up civilian transports, which, I guess it's the Empire, so yeah, that's really disturbing, quite honestly. And the Anvil leader is in your ear throughout the mission, basically telling you what an awful person you are for destroying these transports and how you're going to suffer the consequences and whatnot. No consequences are suffered by you during the mission, basically, as long as you fly it in the game the way you're supposed to. But yeah, you just let this guy telling you how awful you are and that you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. Now, while you're attacking those civilian transports, Varco Gray, who is the leader of Titan Squadron, says a couple of very interesting things over the comm system. When this one happens, or when this part of it happens, he's saying, like, do we really need to be blowing these up? And yeah, I guess I, get why we have to, but we really should be considering the cost of this. Like, it's actually weighing on him a little bit that they are attacking civilians who absolutely are non-combatants. Like, there's no question about it whatsoever. So he is aware that he's kind of crossing a line at some level. And that's the first of those kind of comments from him. There's another one later when they start attacking a medical frigate, and you hear him get the order, or he gets the order to attack the medical frigate, and he says, "Are there patients on there?" And the response from Corell says, "No, it's just Bacta and Stims." And taking that down is still a good thing because it's depriving them of necessary supplies. But the possibility that they might have been ordered to attack a frigate with patients on board seems to also maybe not sit so well with Varco Gray. So now I'm wondering, I was wondering earlier if Frisk was going to end up being a spy for the Imperials. Now I'm starting to wonder if Varco Gray is having second thoughts about what he's being ordered to do and if he's going to end up flipping. Guess we'll have to see how that all turns out. Anyway, so you destroy the medical frigate, and then Anvil's flagship, the Silver Coronet, shows up, and you get to blow that up too if you want to. And then you retreat, and supposedly the New Republic is going to come rushing to the aid of Mon Cala and leave the dockyards undefended, and we'll see what happens if that's actually how it works, because the next mission is you going to attack it. But we'll talk about that very soon, of course, just not today. We're going to wrap it up for today and call it an episode. If you have enjoyed the podcast, I hope you'll consider sharing it with your friends online and offline. Anybody who likes Star Wars that you know, I hope you'll also consider leaving a rating or review on your favorite app. And I hope you'll also consider hitting the subscribe button, the join button, the follow button, whatever your favorite app calls it, so that way you know that you will be delivered a daily dose of Star Wars joy right when you want it, and that you don't have to go hunting it down. And it just remains for me to say thank you so much for joining me for this episode, as always, and may the Force be with you wherever in the world you may be.
7x7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited, or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the force be with them. All original content is copyright by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.